24th. Hello, friends.
And we're a few minutes late getting
Sorry
started.
we're late. Let's go live on Instagram.
Technical difficulties.
We're live on Instagram as well.
That seems to be the common theme when you're a starseed. Glitches.
Where is
technical glitches all the time.
Have I not got my phone? Okay.
What?
I haven't got my phone, but it's okay. Let's just make sure that we're live on Above Duality.
You do have it.
Oh, no. Hi, guys. Bear with us a second. Yeah, we are going live.
It's
okay.
right there.
Oh, yeah. So it's broadcasting to Instagram. Sorry, guys. Yeah, hello.
Where's my
Hi, guys.
phone?
We're about to begin today's podcast, so bear with us. We're just going live on all devices. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Stevie Smith.
Hi, everyone.
Stevie Smith from up north. I think up north. Hi, guys. Yeah, hi, guys. Welcome to what is really our
Sunflower Life podcast.
Towards the Light podcast, which we're going to launch earlier on, later in the next year, actually. But we might as well just call it that now because this is what it is. We don't need guests to have the podcast launch. So welcome to another episode. We're going to be talking about some really, in our view, some important stuff today on leveling up as responsible leaders of the new earth right now. We have, in our view, a great responsibility to help this change and the changes that need to happen through consciousness take place. And of course, that starts with us. We have very recently kind of just learned some new things which have allowed us to get, and I think feel more responsible about taking more accountability for our spiritual practice. We're going to go into some of our routines that we've revamped and upgraded today, which are really cool, which are having some very powerful effects for us. And we're sort of going into that place where every morning we wake up and kind of have a new revelation. We have a new realization. We have a new awareness of something. We talk about it together, typically in bed before we're about to read in the morning as we're waking up. And new truths start to sort of grow and blossom, which, of course, we share with you every week.
It's kind of as we've been reading, we've got some really great books and we're both on a series. I think I'm on volume 2 and David's on volume 5. But yeah, it always promotes things to talk about and connects a lot of dots. So there's so much going on right now. And I think that we all have this knowing deep down, just little things that we know better, that if we implemented in our lives, we would do better. But sometimes it's just figuring out, I don't know, just everything clicks and it's all very cohesive. And I think that's been because we've been doing a lot of the work emotionally and things have been coming up over the past couple of weeks. And, we had a really hard time and we've been seeing the effects of maybe not being so accountable. At least I have. And then having a lot of emotional things come up as well that, we've been really talking about, encouraging each other to lean into. We've been talking about it a lot online in our posts. So we've just been trying to actually practice what we preach.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. And it's really, you only get to the next level of your life when you make a decision to level up. And that can mean lots of different things for different people. For us, it's about, as Kelly was talking about, just turning the screw a little bit on accountability. And I think the world today, and I was talking about this to Kelly the other day, when we're accountable, some of the energies that are missing on the planet right now, which need to be added into the Ascension grids or to the collective consciousness, are things like accountability, honesty, following through, and all these things that are to do with truth, which is really the truth about who we really are. Because when we get into these higher dimensions, these things that we have now, which are maybe and have more negative connotation, like negative speech and not being accountable and not being honest, they don't exist. And so the way I figure it is we might as well start doing it now to get used to it, but it also adds and feeds through to the collective grids and the collective consciousness. And we're going to go into some stuff today, which is really not necessarily revelatory, might be for you, but for us, it's been
just a place to start, right? So we really have to start with just our thoughts and our mindset. And we've been talking about emotions a lot. So just where we're at really is we can choose to live in negative emotions, or we can choose to live in positive emotions. And emotions are energy. So as soon as we're in that energetic space of either like a positive, loving emotion or a negative, overwhelming, fearful, sad, depressing, emotional, like emotion, we really have to just choose and choose where we're at. So just transmuting that emotion, that thought, really that mindset. And that's what we wanted to talk about today, is just free will, and how that movie keeps coming up for us.
Which one?
The Green Lantern.
Oh, the Green Lantern. Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, so I was actually I had 5-10 minutes earlier, and I jumped into the live chat for the Journey to Truth boys, who had a great show with what's his name, old Tony Rodriguez and Laura Eisenhower, just talking about the secret space program and things. And we got to talking about disclosure and what it is. It means different things to different people. And what we're heading into now is really a disclosure time, and an era of disclosure where lots of things become revelatory and revealed to humanity, and the lights get turned on. But I think a lot of us are still waiting for things to happen. And the trap that we fall into with that is we build savior type complexes around speakers, around maybe higher government officials, whatever it is. We build and outsource our powers to those external sources. And the truth of the matter is that disclosure is really us. I don't know, Aaron, my friend, said that. The disclosure element of everything going on really is within us. And what we're heading into is really disclosure about the origins of humanity. When I was talking to Greg Braden last year, or this year, on a wonderful podcast we had, science is now starting to recognize that human DNA has come from somewhere else. And there is strong evidence for that. So we're going into the disclosure of what humanity is and where it was from and why it was brought here and why we are where we are. The second thing is it's going to be revealed as to what has really been going on behind the scenes, and how the matrix has been set up, and what's been going on within that behind the scenes, which is going to be some big bombs. And the third part of that is really going to be the, I guess, higher consciousness revelations that there are many, many different beings of higher consciousness. In fact, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of species of non-humans, non-terrestrials that are coming into our solar system every single day. And
they're assisting us in those upgrades. And there's a lot of things going on galactically, I guess you could say, that are assisting us with the upgrades. So I think to just come back around, we have to be accountability for like having that accountability to assist in those upgrades ourselves, and be doing everything that we can do to assist our bodies, to assist our minds, the thought process, and just being open to channel that light and channel that information. Because when you break it down, light is information. And the dark is really just that lack of information, the misinformation, the discernment.
Let me just wrap that comment up. So where I was going off on tangent is that, and just to finish it, if you think about, and Tony was talking about this, all the stars in the sky right now, every star or every light source, which is looks like a star, could be a sun, which is a star really, but all these stars in the sky have multiple Earth-like planets around them. So when you think about all the stars in the sky, you start to get a picture of really the expanse of the universe. So everyone is watching Earth right now. They're watching to see what humanity is going to do and how we are going to step into our power. And I think although a good percentage, more than ever in human history, Earth human history, are becoming aware and awake to go into the next cycle of high consciousness without the cataclysms, there is still a lot of people that we feel that could be doing more, and we can't affect that. All we can do is what we're doing. But our goal with this podcast and with the work that we do is just to bring to you things that are working for us, and the practices, mindsets, and ways of being that are helping us get to these places of higher consciousness.
Well, I do like to think of it as an inevitability. Like there is so many people waking up, like you say, more and more every day, and they're just bringing in the light. It's just kind of a matter of time. So I don't really want to sit through this emotional roller coaster any longer. I just want to move into that, phase where we can all live in unity and harmony and peace, because I'm, in uncomfortable situations a lot in a day, even just going to a grocery store. So it's like, it's so funny because we're still living in that. We've got one foot in like the 3D world where we have to go out and, be affected by all these things. But then in our life, I feel like we're so focused on our mission and why we're here and what we're doing. We don't even really feel affected by those things anymore. So,
but they still. I was telling you this morning, like I'm ready to be in higher states. I'm ready to. I'm look at the microphone and the camera in there. Although maybe a hidden camera in there these days. I'm ready to move into higher ways of being, and that's on me. That's on us. That's for us to activate those things, and we're going to get into some pretty powerful new routines that we're doing and feeling the effects of for sure to essentially activate our 12-strand DNA template and start to get that thing rolling. And we were talking about today about how all the thing that's going on with CV19 and everything has been in other ways as well, but has been in large part to gather the DNA of human beings for the people who are controlling the matrix behind the scenes, just to see how we're doing, not necessarily in a positive way.
We were talking about that, and we were talking about the DNA upgrades and how we are literally, as this light is coming in, as we're shifting, we are turning ourselves back into the ability of having that 12-stranded DNA helix. So they are checking everybody's DNA. They can tell where we're at, how far along a lot of different cultures are in humanity. So yeah, these are our breakfast conversations, really.
Yeah, you might not like it if you come around for dinner, but I think Cody is watching. You got a bit of
So
fun
we
here.
don't like to do. We're not getting tested around here.
No. But the bottom line is that when you start to do this stuff, is that you, as Kelly was saying, this stuff doesn't affect you because you become so. I say enlightened is too
dedicated
arrogant.
to the work. Really, it's dedicated to the work.
You become so
disciplined in self mastery. Like we're on that path. We always say stay the course.
Yeah,
things come up and happen for us, but
you get on that spiral of ascension, which it really is a spiral, and your vibrational, your resonance, your frequency gets to a point where these things just don't really impact you. And you go on.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they still come up. We still have emotional things come up. I was incredibly emotional last week. I know a lot of people were going through a lot of stuff as these big energies come in, and things come up for us like that are barriers, here, there, yesterday, today, we are dealing with stuff, not emotionally, but just pain in the ass crap that comes up in our life like normal humans. But it's to not get so emotional about it and to not hold on to that state of, anger or, feeling disappointed about something or, because then we're just putting too much into it. We're getting too attached. It's just, we are practicing what we preach. We are surrendering. We are letting go. We are moving into that emotion, asking ourselves, why we're having it, trying to heal. We get around the barriers. We're staying the course. We're staying on that upward spiral. And it's because I think we're so disciplined. It's just getting easier because we have that practice every day. And we wake up and now we're incorporating our Wim Hof practice and our breathing first thing in the morning.
So let's get into that. So this is how we've revamped our morning routine right now. And I'm sure it will take different nuances. We'll change it up just to stay fresh. But right now, this is really powerful for us. We started this 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, I want to put out a disclaimer first because I say I don't want to this is again just what works for us. We're not saying that everybody has to do this, and we're not shaming anybody by saying like, oh, we have this amazing morning routine. I just want to tell everybody that our morning routine doesn't usually start until the afternoon most days. So
we create a lot of content very late at night. So sometimes we go to bed quite early in the morning, and we don't get up till quite late. So that's one of the things we're probably going to be shifting fairly soon.
By all means, we're not perfect in anything that we do. whatever we do is perfect for us.
Yeah, we're not
in the moment.
We're not shy of a 4 p.m. breakfast.
Anyway, you don't have to give the dirty details.
Okay, sorry. We'll edit that bit out. We can't. It's live. So anyway, we've recently revamped this. Yes, we will be going to bed earlier. It's one of our goals, but we'll see how that rolls. And we're finding a lot of power in this. We're finding a lot of anchoring and high vibrational energy, which is giving us into our day. So we're going to get into that. So we start by traditionally we'll have coffee in the morning, but we will begin.
David makes the best coffee.
I'll get up and make that. But we'll.
And I'm so grateful for your coffee in the morning. It makes me so happy.
It's my favorite coffee in all the world, so that's good. She likes it too.
I'm seriously the luckiest girl.
We'll start with the Wim Hof practice, which is about 11 minutes long. Now,
3 rounds.
I want to talk about the 3 E's before we get into that. So the 3 E's that we're going to actually probably design a little bit of a course around in the future is not that long in the future.
And I don't even know what they are.
Okay, this came to me, I think, in the bathroom today as I was shaving. But we have
easy
enrich. So we want to oxygenate. So we're enriching our bodies with oxygen. Extremely important for a number of reasons. We probably won't go into those today, but very, very important. Look up why. And the second thing is to envision. So then we will go into a meditation, which I'll talk about. And then it's to embody the energies. And we have a practice which we're doing to embody those energies as well, which kind of you're going to maybe laugh at, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, are we dropping the bomb today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Full disclosure.
So anyway, so let's go into that. The 3 E's, enrich, envision, and embody. And
he just made this up. I had no idea.
I made it up earlier on, but I'm going to build.
They sound good though.
We're going to build a course around that.
Okay.
Anyway,
wow.
So there you go. Some exclusive live on air for you.
So enrich. Is that where we're starting?
So enrich. Yeah, it's so important to oxygenate the cells
and breathe.
And well, breathing is key as well. But to oxygenate the body for a number of reasons. Oxygen is extremely powerful for a number of different avenues for our cells, for our organs, for our brain, etc. But we'll do a Wim Hof practice first thing in the morning, about 11 minutes long. We can actually, I'll put a link in the description to the one that we use. If it's a bit strong for you, maybe start off with the beginner practice. Some of you may be more advanced even, but it's quite intense when you first get into it.
Logan Murphy.
Yeah.
RC the rapper. Yeah. Missed you in.
Logan got it. Well, Logan got me into it actually a little while ago. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
And then Dr. Melissa, she does her own breathing course as well. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Like breathes in through the 12 chakras. I don't think we get up early enough to do it, but
no. So one of our goals actually is to utilize local sidereal time. Those of you who've been watching David Wilcock relatively recently, he talks about sidereal time, which is when your country or your section of the earth is directly aligned with the central sun, maximizing your energies, your psychic abilities, your ESP, all that stuff. So if you're going to do meditations and you're going to do spiritual practice, that's the best time to do it.
If you're going to connect with source and light, you might as well be connected and aligned.
Yeah, so it's called like local sidereal time, SIDEREAL, and you can get a number of apps. I'll put a link in the description to the app that we use. We haven't actually utilized it yet, but we're going to.
Yeah, because the funny thing about it is from where we are, it just keeps on getting earlier. So it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then you like look ahead and it's going like 9 o'clock in the morning, and you know, we seem to be getting up later and later these times, but yeah, lots going on emotional.
Yeah, my goodness.
Hi, Scotty.
Ryan, I'm upgrading like crazy. My body is, I'm going to read this out.
Okay.
My body is adjusting right now at this very moment. Mind, body, and spirit, baby. Absolutely. Ryan, thank you for sharing that.
And the Schumann is off the charts again these last couple days. Like
crazy.
Spiking, peaking all over the place. Huge energies coming in. So huge upgrades. I know we're feeling it. When we woke up this morning, it was just like all of a sudden I was coming to big epiphanies, and I think you were feeling like the big shift. It's almost like we've kind of worked through those that emotional time, and we've put it behind us, and now we're moving more into that place of just knowing and
definiteness of thought, which is we're going to actually get into that a little bit, but yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I was just going to start talking about, how important that our thought is and what exactly, like how powerful our thoughts are. So these are the things like we all know thoughts become things.
We're not quite there yet.
Oh, we're not?
We're not quite there yet.
Oh, sorry.
A quick shout out. Patricia
I'm excited.
Patricia from the Keystone Channel's in the house. Hi, Patricia. She's got a great show. Go and check her out on YouTube. She's got some wonderful guests.
Hi, Broska.
Make sure you go and check her out. Hi, Alicia is in the house. We love you, Alicia. And we don't know anyone else. Scott, hi. Leo, hi. Nice. I know Lisa Wheeler is here. Hi, Lisa. One of our Above Duality fam. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's nice that you put that comment up. I'm upgrading like crazy because we feel it too. And if you're doing the work, you're upgrading like crazy. Okay, and if you're not doing the work, you're upgrading like crazy because it's happening to us regardless. So
it is,
you're either going to jump on and you're going to go and you're going to assist that, or you're going to resist it. And things are going to come up and you're going to keep repeating those patterns and habits. So we have to just, jump on board and do everything that we can to assist the planet in these light upgrades, these DNA upgrades, this planetary ascension. Like we're going there.
Which is why we wanted to really revamp our morning routine to really plug in and get a little bit more next level
spiritually diligent
about our work to the planet right now. So
anyway, we've added one more invocation too.
That we haven't done. We've done only a couple of times because we said it to do too early.
We said we were to do it in the morning.
So we're hilarious. So we have now 3 set invocations. We're going to talk about this more in our courses coming up, but we have 3 set invocations whereby at 3 points in the day we will invoke, which is to speak into us actually, but to invoke specific words, specific affirmations to connect with divine creator, with source. And we'll do this every single day. So our first one is now been moved back to 12:12 because we haven't been able to get up at 11:11 for a while. So I've moved it back to 12:12 this morning. Then our next one is at 5. Then our next one is at 9 p.m., which we might do
if we're still on live here.
Live on air.
You might get it.
Now some of these are ancient, very, very old as time, very ancient sayings that many different masters have brought into our collective consciousness over the years to activate. So we'll talk about those on later shows. You've experienced that. We've said it on air a couple of times, a couple of the invocations, but we'll do online tonight, I think.
Can we talk about this one comment that just came up?
What is it?
It says, my body is slimming down rapidly and gaining muscle with not doing much. So again, like this is crazy, but it's power thought.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing we were talking about. Oh, but you won't let me talk about it yet.
So we're going to get into that. Leo, thank you for sharing that. That's a good reminder. We're going to blast into that real shortly. And it's going to tie us into, again, talking about the books that we're studying right now, which are incredibly eye-opening. Anyway, so enriching. So we enrich our body with oxygen in the morning using Wim Hof for about 11 minutes when we get up. The next thing we do is we'll put on a wave soundtrack because it's got waves and Wim Hof. So we continue that. And we'll do an envisioning part of our daily routine,
which is basically our silent meditation,
which is a meditation. So we will we have different ways of doing it a little bit, but we will activate our 12-strand DNA template by activating and spinning our 12 chakras one by one. We're not going to get into the detail of that meditation today. We've already done a little bit of that on air a couple of Sundays ago. We'll talk about that more probably in later courses and things. But basically,
you're breathing in and envisioning your 12 chakras system spinning, and then you're bringing in of light.
Yeah. So we'll do the 7 chakras of the body and the 4, 7, 8, 9, and then 5 outside.
We don't have outside, to get into this,
which is the Earth chakra, the Soul Star chakra, the Universal chakra, and the Multiverse chakra. So anyway, but that's our envisioning practice that goes on for about. It's pretty quick. It's very, very calming. It's very, very connecting. We love it. And then from there,
your practice. It's incredible too, just connecting the two. I think that it allows you to get deeper in that meditation when you've already oxygenized your body, you're already in state. I find it's just easier to feel connected, and things are coming through for me on a different level. I always did guided meditations before. So now moving to this silent meditation is just a place where we can really focus our intention. And it, some days it's a rally and I'm sending love and light to the, people on the ground and just trying to keep everybody safe. And So again, this just aids in the power of thought and how important it is where we focus and what we desire. We need to have that knowing that it's ours and that we are powerful creators, and we just need to focus on these things, and where we focus, we will go, and our thoughts become things, and we are powerful, babe.
Yeah, amazing.
So
so many comments going through.
That's awesome.
It's so
nice that people are participating.
I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm going to put you up on screen here.
Okay.
Hello, your website is not available. Yes, we know that. I'm working on it behind the scenes. It's almost ready. I'm not going to give you a timeline because I'm going to fall short of that maybe, and I don't want to be held accountable to that live on air, but it is coming. It's going to be amazing. We're really super excited about it. It's going to be a whole platform for lots of stuff. So stay tuned. You will get the under construction thing on if you go to it right now, thesunflowerlife.com.
Yeah, we wanted to just kind of start with one thing at once, and we wanted to really build the YouTube, and we had a lot of excitement about videos that we were making and motivational stuff. So we should probably mention that really quickly too.
So
that we've added a disclaimer to our videos, because we have been working with kind of like bigger artists who have given us permission and are also sharing a lot of the motivational works, which is amazing. And we are so grateful for that. But initially when we started the channel, we were using like 2 or 3 separate spiritual speakers and then putting them in one video. So when we were promoting it, we just didn't want anybody to get the idea that those speakers were collaborating. And it's basically just, us pairing speakers together to put out the message which we're trying to convey, which we are trying to teach ourselves, kind of what we're going through, right? Yeah. So that's what we've been at. We added a little disclaimer, basically just saying that they have their own opinion, separate. It's not a collaboration. It's just something that, we did. So we kind of decided along the lines of just using one speaker from now on in our motivational videos, just to not tie anybody together or mix messages or, because people disagree on all kinds of things.
Right.
And everybody feels the way they feel. So we just added that little.
Yeah. So the motivational videos that we're making right now, in case you weren't aware of what they are, one of the pieces of content that we create on YouTube is, in our view, very unique spiritual motivational videos using people in the collective, some of our favorite spiritual voices out there, some of our creative friends on YouTube and on social media, typically that I have had on Above Duality or that we know of, combination of both. And we bring them together to make spiritual motivational videos with the intention of motivating and uplifting people. We love making them. We get a ton of inspiration from them, and we hope they add value to you. So go and check them out if you haven't already. They're on our YouTube channel, and we've got a bunch of them uploaded.
I'm just learning so much from everything, just the books and the people that we're associating ourselves with and everything. So why don't you continue on with the 3 E's?
Yeah. Okay. So the final E, if you're ready for it.
Oh no. So are we talking about the thoughts
next.
Things?
Next.
Okay.
Yeah. So the final E in our morning routine. So just to recap, if you're just joining us, we've had the enriching with the Wim Hof. We've had the envisioning with the 12 chakra system meditation, which we'll get into later, not today's show, but at a later date. And the 3rd E that we do in our morning routine is,
drum roll, please,
is to embody a practice of activating our 12 chakra spinning system. So
this is going to help us activate those 12 strands of DNA. This is going to help us get those 12 chakras spinning as much as we're envisioning them, and we're bringing in the light, and we're doing everything that we can to heal and clear those traumas so that we can move forward. We wanted to do one more thing to just really put the nail in the coffin, and we actually heard it from the Pleiadian message that Barbara Marciniak
the Bringers of the Dawn.
The Bringers of the Dawn, yes, on our channel. It's like 3 hours long, and they basically say that if you want to assist yourself in ascension, that you can do these things. And she mentioned breathing was one of them, staying really hydrated, going within, getting quiet, setting your intention. And if you really want to like raise your vibration and activate the 12-stranded DNA to spin physically in circles 33 times from left to right. So you want to spin clockwise, and that's kind of like based on the east to west. So the way the sun rises and sets. So you're spinning 33 times. And then once you finish, you have to bring your feet shoulder width apart and ground yourself. And you bring your palms together. You're focusing ahead with your eyes open, and you're feeling that everything is still spinning as you're stopped, but you're really grounding yourself in that moment. And then she encourages you, if you can do, like, work your way up slowly. If obviously you can't spin 33 times, go slow.
Maybe try half of that.
Maybe try half. Slowly work your way up. We were able to do 33 right off the hop, but initially you spinned a lot slower. Spun.
So just to pause there, and Patricia will appreciate this if she's still on. There's a lot of truths in the Middle Eastern part of the world which have been largely hidden, largely covered up, largely disinfoized, I guess, largely sort of spread as misinformation. But there's been some incredible truths that have come out of the Middle East and the Eastern plateau of the world. Now, one of these things, which we're probably going to do a show on at some point, is the mystery of the whirling dervishes.
The whirling dervishes.
And that was new to Kelly, but I've heard about them a lot before, and the masters talk about this, is that a lot of these very high vibrational beings, people do this a lot. And in doing it, they actually activated their ascension 4 or 5 times faster. So it's very interesting to hear Barbara Marciniak's channeling talk about this. So we're like, you know what, we're going to practice
So he made the connection. He had already heard about that. I felt really called to it. Like, we have our own discernment and our intuition, and it felt like it was truth, and it felt like it, you know, it might help us get to where we're trying to go. So we've got this spiritual morning routine. Like, let's add this into the mix. Yeah. So we started spinning 33 times.
So we can't, I can't directly say that this is having this effect, but I think it's probably correlated. You know, coincidence doesn't exist. It's really only synchronicity. But I definitely feel, I feel like I'm moving into a place of deeper certainty, of deeper knowing, of deeper definiteness of thought, and a not even a denial, but just a space of knowing. And that space of knowing is really, that's when major creation, major states of high consciousness happen, because you literally, you get into, and denial here is not a bad word, you get into the physical instant ability to deny all negative thoughts, which are not of the soul essence, the perfect essence, the God essence. And that's really what happens when you get into high densities. Those negative things, so below 200 on the Hawkins scale and below, those negative states and vibrations just simply don't exist anymore.
Well, that's exactly what happened this morning when I woke up. So I was reading the master's books that we read, and I just started making connections. I started making connections recently, ever since I started really just paying attention again to what the mainstream media is saying. So all of the stuff that we're seeing on social media right now, especially involving the floods in Canada, they took out a bunch of highways. People are saying all kinds of stuff, like it was planned, it was military, they bombed, it was intentional, it's to create the food shortages, it's to
which is unconfirmed, but could well be the case.
Yeah, so we're very open-minded. We just, you know, I've always made that excuse that I like to pay attention to all the information that's coming in. But at some point, like, you do lend your thoughts to these things. You do start thinking, you know, maybe this is why it happened. And my mom was bringing up to me that, you know, they're expecting actually more rain in BC. And, you know, that's in the headlines and that's perpetrated in the media. And then I was, you know, I saw something about Jeff Bezos the other day in Amazon, and he was saying, like, they're going to move people off planet onto these like rotating Elysium type gravity, whatever, like, and then just have Earth as a national park type thing. And it just made me think of how much the media, it made me think of how powerful we are, how powerful our thoughts are, how powerful our intention is. And then when you get people thinking about this on a mass scale, and again, these books were telling us that it can actually create natural disasters. And on that cataclysmic kind of scale, when enough people think it and enough people believe it. So that's basically like what is going on. We're all getting we're all getting the same message on media, through social media. It's perpetrating this fear. We're looking at it every day. We're focusing on it every day. And then these natural disasters happen. And then the highways get taken out. And then all of a sudden the food shortages come. And it's like, because we're all thinking about it and we're all preparing for it and we're all running out and buying toilet paper and living in fear, that we don't want this to happen. We actually manifest it and we make it happen because we're all thinking about it. So, the one thing that me and David just woke up and said this morning is that we can't be lending any of our thoughts to fear anymore, or any of our thoughts to any negative place, because as soon as you hear floods, as soon as you hear shortages, your immediate thought should be everybody is taken care of. Everybody has abundance. Everybody has what they need. And you send them those positive thoughts and the positive vibes, and that everything is going to be all right. Because if everybody just had that mindset all the time, that everything was going to be all right, and they only saw the perfection and they only saw the love and they only saw the truth, we would literally create and manifest that as our reality, as our humanity. So that is why it is so important for us to go there.
So we know this is talked about a lot in spiritual circles. We are leading edge creators on the edge of creation. Now, there's a difference between really knowing and being. A lot of people sort of know, but they know about. They don't know as in they're being it. And to truly know is not to know about, it's to be. So you got to think that we are, think about humanity in this way. And the powers that be know this, especially the archonic structures behind the human puppets know all about how powerful we are. They are part of the experiment that when we were brought here. They were part of the process of our DNA being brought to Earth many, many years ago. But more important, the manipulation of it is that we are the 3D printers for the misaligned ones. So what do I mean by that? I mean that they get us to create what's going on. So when they get us to create what's going on, they plant the seeds through the things that Kelly is talking about, through the media, through infiltrated intelligence operatives in the mainstream media, in these alternative media community, to plant seeds about stories, because once it permeates the consciousness and we start sharing that, it literally it starts to manifest in reality. And it's also one of the ways that they get around our free will and get us to accept things. Another avenue of doing that. But they get us to create for them. We are the 3D printers for them.
So if we don't create our life for ourselves, our life will get created for us by just simply being programmed and going through everyday life. We talked about it this morning. Think about how many people just go to work, wake up early in the morning, they work all day long. They're so busy doing something for somebody else all day, making someone else's dream, making someone else's business work. And then they have to, drive home through rush hour with everybody else doing the same thing. They come home, they just want to relax. So they turn on the TV, and then they're being programmed with fear, with manipulation, and with somebody telling them how to think all the time. So then they start to think that, then they start to fear that, then they start to focus on that. And then that becomes reality slowly over time. Right. So we're all guilty. We all have to snap out of it and start becoming more accountable and dedicating our life and our time to what we want our life to look like. So, I haven't gone to the gym in 6 months or whatever since we started even knew each other. But that's important, like leveling up physically so that our bodies can handle this light, so that they can handle this, lack of, and everything that they put in our food and everything that they hit us with all the time, and the 5G and this and that. And people are going to get sick, and it is going to get worse. And we have to just be prepared for that and do our thing. It's actually not going to get worse. It's going to get better.
Just to take off on a tangent here, Patricia asked, any news on the Besedi Mountains connection? Now, for those of you who...
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I have to explain it a little bit because I want to answer it. I've got a little bit of info, Patricia, but not a ton. Is that I think it was the end of last year we did a show with Peter Moon. Now, Peter Moon was working with Radu, and is continuing to work, as far as I know, with Radu Cinema, who's got some amazing books centered around the technology they found within the Romanian Sphinx. It expands way bigger than that, but that's the crux of where it begins. Now, Peter was telling Kiara and I off camera that I think it was in book 3 or 4, Patricia, I'm not, can't actually remember when The Alchemist comes in, is that Peter was about to meet the alchemist. Now, that's the last... and you've got to go and read those books, Transylvania Sunrise, Transylvania Moonrise, and a bunch of other ones by Radu Cinema. I'll link it in the description. But anyway,
sorry,
our invocation's going off, so we'll say that in a second. But my last contact with Peter, Patricia, was that book 2, thank you, was that he was about to meet the alchemist, who I think is probably, I don't know, a couple of 100 years old or something, I'm not sure. But that was a very interesting final way to end. All the great stuff happens off camera, guys. So we can't always share it, unfortunately. But I will reach out to Peter very shortly, Patricia, and we'll have an update. Maybe we'll bring it onto the Sunflower Life platform. We'll see.
I can't wait to start doing podcasts,
anyway,
and I can't wait to start meeting some of
amazing.
these people and hearing about all this, because I had no idea what you were saying there.
So the technology they found underneath the Romanian Sphinx is absolutely incredible. I think it may even be a ship that's buried there. We don't actually know that yet. Wow. They haven't disclosed that, but it's an incredible story. And they're, as far as I know, they're continuing to do areas of excavation that leads to all kinds of other places. Yeah. Anyway, so sidetrack. I put Patricia's comment up on the screen because I wanted to just talk about that. But back on topic, the definiteness of thought. And Napoleon Hill talks about the definiteness of purpose, but the definiteness of thought is really what the masters talk about when it comes to creating. Now, when you get to that stage of enlightenment where you can literally create with thought, like Jeshua ben Joseph, like Jesus the Christ continues to do, by the way, is still here in different formats, but and all the other ascended masters have done over time. We also, as you know, have that ability to do that. Now, the thing that holds us back is all the things that are limiting us from creating the purest thought and embodying the purest thought possible. And the way we get there is by all these spiritual push-ups that we're talking about, all these routines. And the masters talk about going to the light, as I mentioned, not going to the light switch, going straight to the light. That's a definiteness of thought. That's a pure thought. And Kelly said something great. She had a great analogy this morning, which is when we create these subconscious thought patterns in our lives, we actually physically create they're called neural bridges, where thoughts are very, very small, obviously, like big bridges, but they're thoughts that travel across these bridges.
They're neurological pathways.
They're pathways, yeah.
They're pathways in your brain.
Yeah. So you can
so we have to create new pathways. So the best way that it was ever explained to me, and we've talked about this in some of our motivational videos with Les Brown. So 87% of the things that we think in a day are negative, and that's because of our negative thought patterns. We go to that place where, oh, I'm frustrated, or oh, I'm annoyed, or oh, that makes me jealous or insecure or upset about something. So we're going there a lot in a day. And so the way it was explained to me, we're up in Canada, we have a lot of snow. So when you have to, take out the garbage, or you have to go to the garage, and the garbage can's all the way at the end of the walkway by the garage. So it's just snowed. You've got 3 feet of snow on the ground. And the first time you walk to the garage, it's like big footprints in the snow. You have to kind of tread your way through it, and then you walk back. And then the next time you go to the garage, you're stepping in your same footprints, and then the snow gets packed down a little bit more next time, and next time you walk there, it's packed down even more, and eventually you've got like a pathway that you've packed down into the snow. So, you know, the more often that you go there, the easier and faster it's going to get for you to go there, because you've already pushed the snow down and you pushed it out of the way. So that's what's happening every time we have a thought pattern, and every time we go to that place. It's just very easy. We've always gone there. We've always gone to that negative place. So it's really easy for us to go there. So you have to rewire that neurological pathway in the brain. You can create a new pathway simply by stopping yourself from going to that negative pathway and saying, no, I want to go to a more positive place. So this is what comes back to free will. And this is what comes back to having that choice. So ultimately, even if it seems like there's no good choice, we always have a choice. Everything is always changing. Everything is always temporary. You're always faced with new situations. And we're not saying to be accountable in every single area of your life, but the best place to start is with that thought process. The best place to start is with that emotion as it arises. Instead of choosing fear, instead of choosing insecurity, instead of choosing to go somewhere negative, you're choosing love every single time. Because as soon as you go to love, you go to forgiveness, and you go to compassion, and you go to compassion for yourself and for other people. So it's just creating that new neurological pathway, instead of going to that place of, you know, picking up the phone and, oh, there's food shortages and floods, and I'm worried and I'm fearful and I'm thinking about this. I'm stopping that. I'm saying I'm shutting this down, and I'm going to go to a place where I know it's positive and beautiful and perfect. And you're only focusing on that positive, beautiful, perfect place all the time.
Yeah. And men and women, they think, because their brains and their thought processes are very different, have different ways of doing this. So things that we say, if you're a member of the opposite sex, may work a little bit differently for you. From a guy perspective, I like to use something called the crowding out principle. If I'm worried about something, which is quite rare, if I have anxiety around something, I will typically, so this is more in the past when I used to sort of rewire my brain, is I would do a self-analysis. So I would say, okay, well, what am I most anxious about right now? What thoughts? I'd sort of maybe let's write them down, but I'd define what they were. And then I would write five positive thoughts to overcrowd and to crowd out that single thought. So every time I went there, which sometimes you feel like it's kind of, you can't control it, you then have 5 opposing thoughts, which are of the positive equivalent to it. So you begin to crowd out the vibration to a point where it just goes away. It's like you release a muscle. It's very interesting the way it happens. But that's one of the techniques that I've used over the last 5, 6, 7 years to really, as a guy, to train my mind to stay positive pretty much all the time. I don't really have any negative thoughts at all anymore, it makes me sound kind of self-aggrandizing, but that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah. And, you know, I found that maybe I went there a little bit more often, but it was like today I just woke up with such a reassurance that I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, I have to create those boundaries with people and let them know that if you guys are having that really negative conversation, I just don't want to be a part of it, because I just can't focus on that. But that's really what we're doing. We're just experiencing and having these conversations and helping each other work through a lot of these energies and emotions. And as we learn and grow, we try to talk about it, and we try to share with you guys, and we're trying to share a lot on our Instagram right now. We've been talking a lot about emotions. We have our 2 posts ago, how to transmute negative emotions into positive feelings. So we have a 3-step breakdown of how important it is to feel that negative emotion, give yourself space to do that. And then a lot of people do get stuck there. So it's important to try to transmute the negative emotion as soon as possible, because you don't want to get stuck there. When you don't process your emotions properly, you do create cellular memories inside your DNA, causing you to store the low vibrational energy inside of your cells. So try to transmute that energy as quickly as possible. Start asking yourself feelings, or start asking yourself questions and even writing it down. Like if you're in that bad of a space.
So this is the post, guys. I've got this up on screen.
Yeah,
we're not going to go through it because you've got to read the post. It's quite lengthy, but check it out. It's got some really cool information in there. These are all tools used to help us transfer these negative emotions through us and out of us, and then get to a place of holding ground and stability where they don't come back again.
What I'm trying to say is a lot of what we're doing is really working for me. And I've felt, better, stronger, younger. Like we are telling ourselves that we're reverse aging. We are reverse age. David's hair is actually getting darker. It was getting grayer, but now it's getting darker. His hair is growing back. Like there was a comment there saying that they were feeling like slimmer and fitter. I feel like I'm the same way because I'm just thinking these positive thoughts about myself all the time, walking past that mirror, telling myself that I'm beautiful and perfect, and starting to see myself the way that I want to see myself in love. And
so Leo had said earlier, my body is slimming down rapid and gaining strength while doing not much. Now that's kind of when you start to study, it doesn't necessarily have to be through the books that we're reading. There's many, many different works. When you start to study the teachings of the masters and of the higher beings that have been around for many, many centuries and millennia, in fact, they start to talk about when you get to these higher states of consciousness, you will literally be able to do things, which is what Leo was talking about, like this, whereby you won't need to go to the gym. You'll just say, okay, well, I want to be more physically maybe look and appear more muscular. You'll probably be in a higher consciousness level where you won't have to desire that egoically. But if you are, you'll be able to literally create that. You'll be able to create the clothes that you wear, all kinds of stuff, just through the power of consciousness and thought. This is where we're going, guys. And Leo, thank you for sharing that. People are obviously experiencing it now, which is amazing. And we are as well. So I think that for me, that's really all I wanted to share today.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it does make sense. Just connecting those dots every day. It's just more and more. And it's such a journey, and it's so great to be on it with you. It's so great to be on it with everybody else. And I don't know, I'm just having the time of my life over here. So I think we're on to something, and we should probably get offline so that we can spin around 33 times.
So guys, let us know.
He doesn't want to do it online yet.
We haven't got our full emails. They were online for a bit, but now they've gone off. We've got some problems behind the scenes. But if you want to send us an email, let me just throw this in the chat here. Sunflower Life.
Visually see DK. The colors as I move through the chakras. Yeah, that's really cool. Rainbow Warrior.
Okay, Sunflower Life DK at gmail.com. It's in the chat. Send us an email. Tell us what your spiritual morning routine is, or some of your practices, as much as you want to share. We learn from everyone else, so we welcome those thoughts. Tell us what it's doing for you. And we have also got some very exciting stuff coming up with our Master Mindfulness group that we're going to be building and creating and sharing a lot of this stuff and more for you guys to benefit from, and for us to learn from you as well in an open forum format environment. So we're very excited for that.
Yeah. And I was just going to say that, we're still in huge energetic times. We are slowly experiencing more and more energies coming through. And I think that, everybody just needs to listen to their own self, their own body, exactly what life is telling them that they need more of. And, for us, that was more of a meditation and a bit of a routine, and just to be a little bit more disciplined and more accountable. But, everybody's in a different place, and you just have to listen to yourself on what you really need and what works for you. So lots of Ascension symptoms still, like we're feeling exhausted. We got to get our sleep kind of patterns under control. Obviously, that seemed very apparent. So if you guys want to, journey with us and listen to some of the stuff that we're learning and doing and going through, you can follow us on Instagram as well. And that's _sunflower_life. And we haven't been building our social media too much. We've been focusing more on YouTube, but yeah, we're very excited to get the website up and running and do more posts on social media. So we really feel like as we're learning to transmute a lot of these emotions, we're closing the door on that emotional time, and we're just really starting to step into our powers, our creativity, our creative flow, like figuring out really who we are and where we're going and what we need to be doing. So we wish you all the best of luck. Let us know how your guys' journey is going, and we just have nothing but exciting stuff coming up in the future. So
yeah, amazing.
I'm so excited.
We're going to close today's show out, guys, but thank you for all your attendance, your presence, and your wonderful comments. We really welcome them, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Towards the Light podcast. That's what it's called. Might as well start calling it that. That's what it is. And we're excited to have some more guests on in the future. But we're just blessed to be here with you, sharing ourselves raw and real on camera. And we hope to see you again very soon.
Awesome.
Okay. Lots of love, guys.
Towards the light we go.
Towards the light.
Love you guys.